One video, 2 minutes, and suddenly, 7 years of trust collapsed in an instant. I didn't open her laptop to catch her. I opened it because something inside me was begging for clarity. What I found instead changed everything. When we came home that Monday afternoon, the sunlight was still soft in the sky, clinging to the last few hours of the day. I remember thinking how peaceful everything felt, how strangely calm the house seemed for the first time in what felt like ages. After the emotional storm we had survived together, the arguments, the uncertainty, the late-night conversations that drifted between fear and hope, I truly believed we had stepped into a brighter chapter. Something in her had softened too. Her tone was gentler, her eyes warmer, and the way she reached for my hand felt like the way she used to when everything between us was effortless. It felt like we had rediscovered each other, not as two people trying to survive chaos, but as two people choosing each other all over again. Later that evening, around 7, Brandon texted to say he was coming over. That, surprisingly, didn't bother me. In our attempt to rebuild trust, we agreed on transparency and communication. No secrets, no sudden appearances, no unexplained absences. She told me he was coming, and I accepted it without suspicion. We were sitting in the living room, sharing drinks, laughing quietly, when the knock came. She greeted him easily, naturally, as if nothing between them had ever been complicated. She mixed fresh drinks, joined us on the couch, and soon the three of us were playing Uno like a group of people with nothing to hide from each other. For a moment, just a moment, I allowed myself to believe we were truly healing. The next morning, around 7 a.m., I heard the doorbell again. Brandon was back, arriving for the yoga session she had invited him to earlier. And instead of dread, I felt something strange. Not fear, not discomfort, something closer to relief. I trusted her, at least enough to hope this was just a part of our new, open communication. The cameras I had set up were not weapons. They were reassurance. Proof that I wasn't imagining things. Proof meant to show me I was safe. For nearly an hour, I watched the footage. They talked, stretched, helped each other with poses, moved around the living room with casual familiarity, but nothing more. Nothing inappropriate. Maybe a smile that lingered too long. Maybe a gesture that hovered in that gray space between friendly and flirtatious. But nothing that crossed a line. I felt myself relax for the first time in weeks. Eventually, I closed the camera feed and went back to bed, letting the footage continue recording while I slept. A couple of hours later, she woke me gently and brought breakfast to me in bed. She kissed my forehead, told me I hoped I slept well, and went back to join him. When I checked the cameras again, everything still looked normal. The rest of the week followed a similar pattern. Early morning yoga sessions, small interactions throughout the day, light touches that felt innocent but made something deep inside me uneasy. Nothing concrete, nothing damning, nothing that I could point to and say, here is where it went wrong. Then Saturday came, and with it came the truth I didn't know I was walking toward. That morning, while putting laundry away, I noticed her suitcase tucked under the bed, a place she never stored it. Something about the positioning felt deliberate, hidden, almost secretive. I pulled it out without thinking. Inside, nestled between clothing, was her laptop. My chest tightened, not because I wanted to go through it, but because I knew, deep down, that the urge came from somewhere real, somewhere wounded, somewhere afraid. I hesitated for a full minute before opening the laptop. When the screen flickered alive, my heart thumped against my ribs so hard that it was painful. I kept telling myself I shouldn't do this, that I was breaking trust, that I was the one crossing a line. But a different voice kept whispering, If everything is truly fine, you'll find nothing. And if everything is not fine, you deserve to know. Her inbox appeared first. Over 15,000 emails, more than 100 unopened. My stomach dropped. Then her text messages began to load. I stood up, stepped outside for a cigarette, and tried to breathe through the growing anxiety. When I came back, the messages were visible. At first, everything looked normal. Conversations with friends, family texts, work reminders. I scrolled casually, not really expecting to find anything. Then I reached November 6th, and the world fell out under me. There it was. A video message. 2 minutes long, sent at 8:47 a.m. The moment I pressed play, I felt my entire body go cold. The footage wasn't ambiguous. It wasn't confusing. It wasn't something I could rationalize or misinterpret. It was betrayal. Clear, undeniable, happening not just anywhere, but in our home. In the guest room where guests were supposed to sleep. In the space that belonged to us. The space I believe was sacred. I froze. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. All I could do was stare while the world blurred around the edges. And then another wave of pain hit me. I checked my messages from that morning. I had been at work. Then I checked the doorbell footage. I left the house at 6. He didn't leave until well after I returned home that evening, which meant something even worse. The man who had betrayed me, the man who had crossed the line with the woman I loved, sat in my living room later that night, drinking a beer with me, laughing like nothing had happened. I remembered that moment with a nauseating clarity. How casual he looked. How normal everything felt. How I had no idea he had spent the entire day in my home, inside my walls, sharing a secret with her that they both kept tucked behind their smiles. The betrayal burned deeper than I ever imagined betrayal could burn. But beneath that pain was another emotion, one I wasn't prepared for. Guilt. Because she had told me she needed more from me. That she felt lonely. That she felt abandoned even though I was working myself to exhaustion trying to secure our future. She had told me she needed me to pay attention, and I didn't listen the way she wanted me to. It doesn't justify what she did. Not even close. But heartbreak is complicated, and sometimes the mind mixes truth with self-blame until you don't know which one is real anymore. I haven't confronted her about the video. Not because I'm afraid of her reaction, but because I don't know what the truth would do to us now. What if telling her destroys the fragile peace we have rebuilt? What if it opens wounds we barely managed to close? What if knowing everything breaks something I can never put back together? It was one time, a long time ago. We're different people now. She treats me better than she ever did back then. We laugh, we talk, we feel like partners again. But the video still exists. The truth still exists. The betrayal still exists. In the back of my mind, it never left. And there is something else that unsettles me. During our recent trip, I took dozens of photos of her. Beautiful ones. Moments where she looked genuinely happy, glowing even. But she never posted them. She never shared them. She never showed them to anyone. And for some reason, the messages from yesterday still won't load on her laptop. Another red flag. Another unanswered question. I feel like I'm living between two worlds. One where she is the person I love now, the one who holds me, kisses me, cares for me, and one where she is the person who betrayed me in the most intimate way possible. I don't know how to reconcile those two versions of her. I don't know how to carry a truth she refuses to acknowledge. I don't know if I'm protecting love or avoiding reality. All I know is that the decision I make next will determine everything. What would you do if you uncovered a truth you were never meant to see? Comment below. Your perspective might help someone who's living the same nightmare.